Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is the look that we're gonna create today using the JUVIA'S Magic eyeshadow palette. I'm so living for this look. I hope you guys like it too. If you're new here, hit on that subscribe button below and let's just jump right into the video. So first we're gonna prime our eyes using the Fenty Beauty Match Stick in the shade Suede. And we're gonna then blend the edges out with a damp beauty sponge. This time I'm not gonna set it with as like I normally do because I've seen this technique and I like it. So we're gonna take the Zuri shade from the Nubian 2 palette from JUVIA'S and I'm gonna apply this to my brow bone area. All of a sudden I'm feeling, highlighting my brow bones. With makeup we change from season to season and that's just what I'm feeling right now. So from the Magic palette we're gonna take the shade Nana and we're gonna apply this as our transitional shade. So I'm applying that a little below the brow bone and higher than the crease area, and I'm just using a fluffy brush to blend this into that transitional area. This will just help with blending later. Next shade I'm gonna take is from the Nubian 2 palette and it's called Jezebel. It's a deep rich purple plum shade. In hindsight, probably didn't need it, but I was just creating this look off of I wasn't sure where I was going with the look, so yeah, you'll see me doing a lot of steps, but I'm using a more denser brush to apply this a little bit above the crease area but lower than where we applied that first color. And then of course we're gonna take that first fluffy brush and just blend the edges just to soften it a bit. So just blending, it's all about blending. Going back into the Magic palette, we're gonna take the shade Effie. Now in the palette it looks like a blue shade, but it's more like a deep, like very deep, almost black purple shade. So I'm just gonna apply this in the inner and outer corners of the eyes using that brush that we used to apply the Jezebel shade. So it's a more dense brush. So when I apply it both in the inner and outer, I'm gonna connect the inner and outer in the crease area by sweeping, doing like that windshield wiper motion, and then just try to blend the edges a little bit. So we're just blending, making sure the colors are as colorful as we want it, and to blend to make sure it's as blended, especially the edges. So I'm using that Bedelium fluffy brush just to again blend everything out. So next we're gonna take the shade Yejide. I swear I really hope I'm pronouncing this right, from the Magic palette, and it's a more like deep navy blue shade, and I'm gonna pat that in the inner and outer areas just like what I did with the Ife shade. So I'm just basically doing the same thing that I did with the shade before, just to give me a multi-colorful look. As I said, I didn't know where I was going, so this was just playing around with the colors. Those were the colors that really spoke to me. Again, taking that first brush from Bedelium Tools and just blending out the edges, and as you see, everything is nice and well blended. So to create that halo effect, I'm gonna take the Shea Moisture Cream Concealer in the shade Fawn and just carve out that center area of the eye that we're gonna lay our middle color. Now my lights played me, like, didn't I pay my light bill? Like, what's going on? As you guys, my lights played me, okay? It played me, but you guys can see what I'm doing, just carving it out where I'm gonna place the next color, which is also from the Magic palette, and it's called Yemoja. It's like a frosty silver shade with like a purple undertone, or a blue undertone I should say, in it. So I'm just packing that onto the middle of the eye that we just carved out. I'm trying to avoid going up to that top section of where I carved out. And then I'm going to take this pencil brush just to blend the edges of those dark shade into that frosty Yemoja color. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just softening the edges so it doesn't look like this is one color then that's another color. We want everything to look cohesive. I didn't show the product that I'm using, but it's a duo lash glue. I'm just using that to act as a base for the glitter that I'm going to put on top. So the glitter is by NYX and it's the face and body glitter in the shade Crystal. It kind of has a holographic type look to it. So I'm just taking a paintbrush that I got from the craft store. I'm just packing on the crystal on top of where we laid that lash glue. So next we're going to take the shade Zuri from the Nubian 2 palette, and I'm just applying this right beneath where we apply that glitter because I felt like I wanted a 3-dimensional look to it. So yeah, as I said, I'm just all over the place with this eye look. And again, just blend in the edges, and then I'm going to take a clean brush with no product on it just to do a nice final blend of the eye look, just to make sure everything is nice and smooth. So next I'm gonna go in with the shade Faso, and I'm mixing that with the e.l.f. makeup seal. The Faso is also from the Magic palette. I'm mixing it with the e.l.f. makeup seal to create like a gel eyeliner effect, and this is what I'm going to use to create an eyeliner. I just really wanted to use more colors from the palette. This is like an iridescent purple shade. I really love this shade. And then I'm going to do some tight lining with the CIATE eyeliner pencil so that it will help to hide the eyelash band. And I'm just going to apply some mascara to my lashes, and this is by Maybelline and it's their Big Shot. And I just apply my lashes, although I'll leave it in the description box below. Next, I'm going to take the shade Zuri from the Nubian 2 palette and just pop that on the inner tear duct, and the top of the eyes are pretty much done. So to remove some of that glitter, I'm just taking this spoolie. I find that this works great at removing glitter from the face. So now we're going to move on to the face, and we're priming our face using the Black Opal Invisible Oil Blocking Mattifier. So for foundation, I'm taking my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation in the shade 440, currently my favorite foundation. And I'm using a brush to do this. I've been loving using brushes to apply my foundation, especially with thick full coverage foundations like this. I feel like it gives me a more flawless finish without removing too much of the product. So for concealer, I'm going to mix the Fenty Beauty Matic in Suede with the Fawn cream concealer in by Shea Moisture, and I'm just applying all of these to the normal areas like under the eyes, down the bridge of the nose, the forehead, the cupid's bow, and the chin. And then I'm going to use my damp beauty sponge to blend this out, just to, you know, push it into the skin, you know, making sure that it's giving me the coverage that I need and highlighting the areas that I like to highlight. I also ran the whatever that was left on the sponge under my cheekbones just to carve out my face more. And then I'm going to go in with the brush that I use for my foundation just to blend the edges. I didn't apply any additional foundation. It's just whatever is left, just to help blend the edges so everything is more seamless to the skin, so it's not like highlighter there, foundation there. Now to set all of those areas that I just highlighted, I'm going to take the Sacha Buttercup setting powder, and I'm using a brush to apply this because I'm not going to bake under my eyes. My face has been drying out a lot, so I've been avoiding baking under my eyes. The only areas that I'll do any baking with is on the sides of my mouth that you see me applying there, because that's all of the talking and laughing tends to crack, and also setting under the cheekbones that I carved out earlier. Going back to the eyes, I'm going to take the shade Jezebel from the Nubian 2 palette. I applied a little bit too much, but not to worry, we're just going to blend. So I'm just applying that under the eyes to make sure that the top and bottom matches. Then I'm going to take the shade Ife from the Magic palette, also by JUVIA'S, and apply that closer to the lash line, and then taking that clean brush just to blend everything. In retrospect, I should have applied a little bit more on the other side, but Now in my waterline, I'm going to apply the Shea Moisture Gel Eyeliner in the shade Purple because I just wanted some more purple. And then to set the rest of my face, I'm going to take the Black Opal Deluxe Finishing Powder in Dark. And first I apply it to the face, I stamp it in the face, and then I go over and buff it in. So stamp it in first where you want it to be, and then go over with buffing it. And I also take whatever is left on the brush and apply it over the highlighted areas just to tone it down a bit and make everything flush together. For bronzing, I'm taking the Shea Moisture Illuminating Mineral Bronzer in the shade Dust, and I'm using this fan brush to apply this to all the areas that I want seed and to create more shadows to the face. Whatever is left on the brush, I normally just brush it along the tip of my nose and under my cheeks. Now, you know, the makeup is going good when you start to dance, you know. So for highlighting, I'm going to go into the Saharan Blush Volume 1 palette by JUVIA'S, and I'm taking the shade Zara and I'm applying it to the highest points of my cheeks. It's more of a yellow gold, which I don't necessarily like to use as highlighter, but I really loved how it looked on my skin. So I'm applying it on top of my brows, something I don't normally do, but I was just in the mood of just doing my makeup this day, man. I was just feeling it. I applied it also to the tip of my nose, my cupid's bow, and along the bridge of my nose like I normally do. But look, I just look so nice and golden. Just to kind of tone it down a bit and make it more blended, I use the brush that I used to apply the Black Opal finishing powder and just go over it. For blush, I'm taking that shade Zane, also from the Saharan Blush Palette by JUVIA'S, and I'm applying that to the cheeks, and as you can see, it is hella pigmented, like very pigmented. Please, little at a time, a little bit. So just to help tone it down, I'm gonna take my brush that I use for foundation, no additional foundation on it, and just go over it just to tone it down. Like, it really needed some tone down effect. This blush is highly pigmented, so just please, a little bit at a time. Don't make the same mistake like I did. Moving on to the lips, we're gonna first line our lips with the MAC lip liner in, of course, Chestnut. It's just my favorite lip liner to use. Then to fill in my lips, I'm also using a MAC product, and this is called Velvet Teddy. It's one of my favorite nude lipsticks from MAC. It's nice and creamy, and I just feel like it works with my skin tone, and mixed with the chestnut is just bomb to me. But I didn't want to leave my lip matte, so I applied some Milani Brilliant Shine lip gloss in the shade Nude Touch. It has like flecks of gold in it, which I really love. And then to set everything and to kind of refresh my face, I'm applying the Urban Decay De-Slick Setting Powder. And this is how we're looking, nice and then all we have to do to finish the look is apply some bottom mascara, also with the Maybelline Big Shot mascara, and that's pretty much it for the look. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, stay beautiful. See you in the next one.